over?
Yep.
So now that you see that, can you see how we always recommend you have private insurance so that you have full control over it?
Yes.
Simple question. Simple question. So when you go private, you only have two options: cash value life insurance or term. Cash value is mostly known as whole life and or universal life, among some other names that you may know, but those are the only two types of cash value that you can really choose from. And it combines insurance and savings, quote unquote. Whereas term is just insurance. So you already see, Shondell, it's not apples to apples comparison, right?
Right.
So most people think just because cash value sounds better because of the savings portion, they go with that. However, in the contract, the company cannot legally call that portion their savings anymore. Isn't that a red flag?
Definitely.
Isn't that a red flag? Isn't that a red flag? And now Chandel just said, yeah, that's a red flag, right? So now we're going to go through cash value and we're going to kill it. Play Dave Ramsey and then move on to term. Making sure they understand that Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey say if you have term, you have more room to save on the side. Now, during the Primerica term slide, guys, okay, during the Primerica term slide, after you've destroyed the terrible term, you've destroyed State Farm, Snake Farm, and they understand never buy a term from a cash value company. Now, when you hone in on us, you're looking to hone in on the quality. Mr. and Mrs. Client, we do not compete on cost. We don't compete on name brand or advertising. Remember when 9/11 happened? Yes, right?
Yeah.
You know, out of roughly 200 companies at that time that existed, can you believe only 3 of them paid out?
Wow.
Yeah, and we were one of those 3. So we don't compete on cost. We don't compete on the advertisements. We don't compete on name brand. We compete on how we deliver to our families. And last year it got much worse because so many people, they passed away due to COVID. And there's much more life insurance companies that exist now, but can you believe only 3 life insurers were listed as able to overcome COVID-related challenges?
No,
And yeah, if you search this article, you can read it on your own, Shonda. But look, and I pull up the article on my screen share, and I zoom in on the list of companies, and I say, and look who made the list. It's not surprising to us, but coming from a word of mouth standpoint, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Right? So now after you've gone through all the quality, the points to sell our quality of service, you may share a personal story there of one of your clients like I do. Shondell, can't you see how you and Mike should have coverage with our company?
Of course.
Right. And so now we go into the no insurance slide, get commitment to do business before we go into the theory and start collecting data using the theory questions. As we quote, we get referrals, and then we close and set the carryback. That's the steps to close in that specific order. Now look at how similar it is when you have private. So when you're closing private, right? If somebody has private coverage, the beginning is going to be different, but the end is going to be very similar, right? So Shondell, do you feel overinsured, underinsured, or not sure?
Not sure.
Not sure? Okay. Is this coverage outside of your job or inside of your job?
Outside of my job.
Great job. Most people don't really understand that they need to have coverage outside of their job. That's awesome. Can you explain to me why you decided to get private coverage?
Yeah, I just figured like I heard it. I mean, if you don't work there anymore, you don't have that coverage, right?
Absolutely. And there's some other reasons too, but you did the right thing, by the way. So fast forward, I clicked through the presentation, guys. So when you click through, that means you're just clicking next. That's it. You're clicking next to find out why they got the policy. Hey, Shondell, so why did you get this policy? Was it for protection, coverage, investments, or both?
Both.
Both? Okay. Now, what do I know now? It might be a cash value policy. I'm playing chess. I want to know what type of policy I'm about to destroy before I even destroy it, right? Next question. So if you were to make a change, what would interest you most? Lower cost, more coverage, better return, or any of the above?
Lower cost for sure, because it's expensive, and all of better coverage, and have my investment grow a little bit better.
Okay. So we find that most people, and I memorized everything already, guys. I'm not even reading the script, right? But when you do appointments so often, you just know what to ask, right? So you figure out what change what would motivate her to change, and then you figure out there's an attachment to the agent and or the company they currently do business with. Okay. Now, there's two scenarios. There's two sub scenarios to getting closing private coverage. There's a scenario where they can actually get their policy for you to destroy, or they don't have the policy at hand. Okay. So when you get the policy, let's say she doesn't have an attachment. Okay, great. Well, listen, Shondell, this will be really great for Jariatu's training. And this will actually make the meeting go so much quicker. Why don't you grab your policy and I can teach Jariatu how to help you read your policy. I don't say, can you get your policy? Hey, is it okay you grab your policy? No. Hey, why don't you do me a favor, grab your policy so I can teach Toyin how to read that policy in 2 minutes. Now, when you get the policy, right? Let's say we find out that it's a cash value policy for real. And I want to ask them to confirm in the front page, it says whole life. It says whole life. It says life paid up. It says limited pay. All of that is whole life. We know that from studying for our license. Now I know I can go back to the cash value slide. So remember, in the beginning, when we were dealing with group coverage, we went directly to the cash value slide after the group, after killing group. This time, we didn't go through any of the quadrants. We just clicked through to get the policy first. Now you get the policy, you know what you're dealing with, you confirm it's a cash value policy. Now you can click on the cash value policy slide and destroy it and destroy the policy. Once you destroy the policy, the client is rallied up during the Primerica term slide. Again, you hone in on the quality. Everything I said, you quote and get referrals. But if there's no policy, oh, Shondell says, oh, I really don't know my policy. I really have to look. That's fine, Shondell, no problem. What company do you do business with?
Transamerica.
Transamerica, okay. And how much coverage did you say you have? 100,000?
Yeah.
And you pay how much for it?
I don't know, a lot.
A lot? Okay. Like 100, 200?
Yeah, maybe like 105.
105. And what type do you think it is? And before you answer, I just want to kind of give you a couple of ideas here. You might tell me if anything sounds familiar. Is it whole life, universal, flexible premium adjustable, AD&D, accidental, term, convertible term?
I think it's flexible premium term.
You think?
Something like that. Yeah.
Flexible premium term. Okay, that's fine. When did you get this policy?
Like 5 years ago.
5 years ago? Okay. So now I got all of that. I know what I'm dealing with. I know there could be some health issues that might have changed. I'm going to ask her that, right? I know I'm dealing with a universal life, which is flexible premium adjustable. When I click on the cash value slide, I'm not going to destroy whole life. I'm going to destroy universal life. And after I go through that, she understands how universal works from the visual. Shondell, you would never knowingly put your money into an account like this, would you?
No. If I knew that, no.
No. And if your policy worked like this, how soon would you want to find out?
Oh, as soon as possible.
Right. And I know it's really important to cover your family. So I definitely want to hone in. If we could show that your policy worked like this and do better, would that be something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So you set a carryback. On the carryback, you hone in on the quality again of us. You quote, get referrals, close, okay? And then set another carryback for the investments. You always set another time to meet. So that's how we close on the private coverage. Those are the steps. So everything that Shondell went over, recruiting is going to lead you to more places to go, like she said. That's why me and Shondell and Sheila, all three have QAs consistently coming in, because it's not just our warm market we're prospecting, it's the recruits' warm market to train them, duplicate them. But Sheila has done such a great job being an example. I'm just really excited. I mean, Sheila was like, what do I trade on? Girl, trade on your 13,000 of income. What are you talking about? What else is there to trade on, right? Come on. So I'm just so proud of you, Sheila. Shondell and me are really proud of you. So go ahead and rip it up, like always.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to say thank God that I have an option, because I just want to give a little brief history of how I got to where I am right now. I've I've been a nurse for almost 26 years, and I actually did the business. I started about almost 4.5 years ago, and I started as a client. Okay, I have investments and I have insurance. My husband and I, actually my whole family now. And so in the beginning of the business, I was doing it spare time. Okay. Even if it was spare time, I still made time for it. So that's really important. Spare time. I mean, make time for the business. And then, I slowly progressed into part-time, and I did part-time probably for 2.5 years. And I started building, I started building my business by recruiting more. So now with 8 licensed agents under me, I am now, since I'm full-time, I now have more time to actually field train, all the people that I have. And these are just examples that I have for you of how I was able to make 13,000 last month, and 8,000 of that was securities. So I do highly recommend that you do study for that, make time for it, because I would not be able to really, well, I could still quit my job, but I wouldn't be confident, right? When they said that, hey, you have to do this, you have to work every other Saturday, you're gonna tell me now that I have to work every other Saturday after working for almost 26 years and not doing weekends for almost like, a decade and a half, and you're gonna tell me now I have to work Saturday? That same day, and go to a place where it was an hour drive from my house, and do cases that I didn't even know how to do. So I was like, you know what, screw this, and I gave my resignation right then and there. Okay, so now, because I took time to study and learn the products and the business, now I have the time to actually spend time more to train the people that I have recruited and continue to recruit in the future. And like I said, these are examples that I have. 5,000 of them, by the way, was also from from life insurance, from life insurance clients. And some of them are from my field training appointments with the people that I have recruited. Now, just this past week, Gilbert, who is actually is a really good friend of my husband's, and in turn, one of his daughters is my goddaughter. She just finished her nursing school and she passed her boards, and I told her, look, let's work on your life insurance and work on your Roth and all that. So I was able to get a $42 app from that. We also have an aunt that had no policy whatsoever, and I got a $91 app from that. That was the MRN that I just collected last night. Glenn, actually, I've said this before, and I don't know if you've heard it, but Glenn used to play professionally, basketball professionally from Maryland. And because of his network, I'm able to tap onto the networks. Even though I knew some of these people, I didn't know them that well. So Glenn, being very active in the basketball world, nationwide, right? He took me to an appointment with a commissioner of one of the Filipino basketball organizations. Now, the guy that I saw actually was also a friend of ours, but I had been talking to his wife. And then I find out that she's not even the one making the decisions, even though I thought she was relaying the message to her husband. And this is 3 years later. And thank God for Glenn, I was able to talk to him. And he had just signed up last month, and he got one of those trash value policies. And it's just really trash. And he was paying $250 for $100,000 death benefit. Okay, I'm going to repeat that: $250 for $150,000 death benefit, just to find out it was going to lapse anyways later in year I think it was in year 30 something. So what I did was I said, look, this is what happens to your policy, right? I broke it down to him. And then we replaced that trash value policy with a $70 app with the same death benefit, right? Saving him $180. And now he's able to invest that. Okay. So it's out there, especially in our community. But, you know, sometimes the facts, okay, the facts will never lie to you. Numbers will never lie to you. And that's why I emphasize knowing your products. Once you know your products, you'll get really good at it, and you know you will be unstoppable. Okay. I also have another appointment with Gemma, who is actually from Maryland, and she's actually a teacher. And I talked to her daughter late last night. She's from New York, and she also had an existing, you know, trash value policy, which she was paying $100 a month for 300,000 death benefit. And you know, she had been paying since 2017. You know, when she looked at it, you know, her cash value was zero because of the surrender charges, right? And every single person that I sit down with, okay, that has trash value thinks, all right, I guess because of the way it's presented to them, is that the insurance, okay, is also an investment. So whatever the death benefit that they have on the insurance, no matter what happens later on, they will still be able to get that death benefit. Did you hear me? For instance, the person I spoke to said, oh, I thought the $150,000 later, my death benefit, I will also get that later on. And I said, absolutely not. Okay. So when I said, when I looked at the policy and explained everything to him, it made total sense. Okay. These are just some of the examples that I have. And what I've been doing right now, because I have more time, I have rewrote my list, and I'm still continuing to rewrite my list, because I feel like when I was working full-time as a nurse and still had other things going on, I just wasn't putting enough time that I wish. And now, because, you know, my first month full-time, I have now replaced my income as a nurse and more. And you know what? The beauty is I get to do it when I want to do it. Okay. It's the freedom, all right, that I get to do it at home, right? I do it when I'm available, and I'm still making the same amount of money, even more so. Okay. So I guess the nuggets that I have is, you know, you got to set goals. I told Samir, my goal after when I said I just resigned, I said, I want to make $15,000 every month, right? I'm not going to make $15,000 by just sitting on my butt. Okay. I constantly, you know, reach out to people, going through my list, and set appointments and follow up. Matter of fact, the past 2 months, okay, the clients that I have personally were mostly people that I didn't even know. They were all referrals, because, you know, being in the business now for over 4 years, I've gained the confidence of the people that I sat with in the past, and they're seeing the results, because remember, I do have a securities license. So, you know, with their investments, they see the difference. And now they're referring me to their family and friends that I had, you know, I didn't even know. Okay. I also continue to, you know, I just continue to, you know, join, you know, different organizations to make myself more visible. So that's really important. Continue to expand your warm market. Okay. And that's pretty much what I have. And just, I guess, set your goals, be focused, and just keep grinding, because you know what, this is what I tell my agents and the people that I talk to. Why do you keep doing this? And you know what I said? Because I care enough. Okay. And just FYI, last thing I want to say is that this company actually buried my brother-in-law, who died at the age of 41. All right. So I'm just going to end it at that. Thank you for your attention, guys. You can take it back, Jen.
Awesome, Sheila. Hey guys, you just saw full picture the Primerica business. Finding a new recruit, doing a solid fast start meeting, getting out on an appointment, and then examples of what you can be doing for people through those recruiting and field training appointments, guys. So watch this YouTube. We're going to post it. Make sure right now you hop on with your team and set appointments out for the week. Thanks everyone so much for getting on, and we'll see everybody later.